Hello, you're welcome to another edition of Pulse Blitz. Today is International Women's Day, and so Kojo has been kicked out. He'll come back tomorrow. So today I have another woman here. We have Rebecca Akosia Echampoma Echampo. We mostly refer to her as Becca. I don't know who hasn't heard her song yet, because I've heard a lot. Typically today, everybody will be referring to African women.
Everyone is actually.
Yes. And what actually inspired you to write that song or sing that song?
Well, I mean, my inspiration is quite easy because the song says African woman, and I'm an African woman, and so it's really easy to talk and discuss issues about African women. And I think that will be the main reason why I was drawn to do such a song. Also, I thought, you know what, being in the industry for a while, at that time was an opportunity and was time for me to acknowledge women that I looked up to, the likes of Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Mary Makiba, and just a whole lot of people. And so this particular song, African Woman, was just for everybody, and not just them. I say it all the time that I think African women are ordinary, and people ask me why I say that all the time. I said because they don't have to do much. They are themselves. They do, you know, they're just themselves. And so yes, today's International Women's Day, and as much as it's for every woman in the world, I think particularly African women are to be acknowledged.
Still on the song, did you have anything you wanted to achieve with it? When you sang the song, was there anything you perceived, oh, I want to do this with the song?
Yes, I did. I actually really did. And that's what's happening now. So I just actually left the an interesting conference with the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, and that was a song that it played from beginning to end, African Woman. And this song has been in existence for about 7 years now. So it was interesting that it played every Mother's Day, every Women's Day, every time there's an event to do with women. And that was the reason what I wanted to achieve, that in the next 20 years, I still want African Women to be played. And that was the main reason. And also, I wanted women to feel like this is a song that belongs to them. You know, every time they listen to it, it just soothes their hearts and makes them happy.
All right, I think we feel that way already.
Don't we all?
Yes. So talking about women feeling something belongs to them, women in the music industry,
right,
where you play a lot.
Yeah.
We find few of them, more men. How do you cope? How do you survive?
I mean, there's a saying that the fewer the merrier. We the women are content with what we have. We believe we've got enough talent to be able to be on every platform the men are able to be on. So for me, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, you know, of product. And I think that if you look at the women that are in the industry now, most of them have got interest in quality music, and they themselves as a brand are quality. And so as much as it's dominated by a lot of male, I think that we are just fine where we are, and we are not intimidated in the least bit, and we are not deterred by anything that goes on. We're just striving hard to compete in this really extremely competitive world and industry. So
you think women are contributing that much to the industry yet?
Well, I think they are. I honestly think they are. I mean, I think that I don't remember the last time a woman was in the category of high life, and I am. And the last award I won was on 31st of December, and I won Best Highlight Video of the Year. And there was a lot of men there as well, and I won it. And so I think that we are actually contributing a lot. We're doing quite well. We've also given the platform an open way, paved the way for people, like for young girls who want to be in the music industry. And for me, that was one of the things that I really wanted to do in the industry. When I started, I would go for a show and I'll be the only woman on the bill. And I said to myself that, I mean, I think somebody has to work hard. Let women see that, listen, you can also compete in this, you know, you can also be a part of this. And I think we've achieved a lot, and we're doing quite well. Our stage performances are also really dope.
Awesome,
dope.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Big ups to the women in the industry.
industry.
But come to think of it, are you pulling other girls along? Other women who want to be in the industry? Because we all know the saying that women are their own enemies. Yes, and I have my opinion on that, but that's not for today. Yes. So are you pulling other girls along? I mean, you and other female women, other women in the music industry. Yes, are you doing that?
I think that everywhere I go, that's one thing I do. I think that every time I do something, every time I have an interview outside of Ghana, every time they ask me about who even my favorite musician is, I have to mention somebody in Ghana, and I have to mention a woman's name. I have to pull them along wherever I go to. I know I've had done tons and tons and tons of interviews, and I remember every single time I've mentioned a woman's name as my favorite artist from Ghana. Women, they say, are their own enemies, but I think also that men can be their own enemies as well. I think we live in a realistic world. This is reality. There's nothing that is going to be perfect, and we're all not perfect people. The most important thing is that we're able to do our little thing in our own little corner, strive to work hard, strive to be the best we can be, and support in whatever way that we can support, and that's the most important thing.
All right, on today's Blitz, we are with Becca. We'll be reading some of your comments as you post them, so you can post your comments and then I would read them as we go on. We can also find out what you do. You know, the theme for this year's celebration is women in the changing world of work, and then Planet 50-50 by 2030. I like that part. Planet 50-50 by 2030. 50-50. You know, everybody must have an equal right.
I agree.
Do you think that will happen in the music industry, specifically to Ghana?
I think it will. I think it really will. I was just like saying again, coming from a really interesting conference where we gathered together, and one of the policies that are going to be set now is that 40% of women must be involved in decision making in Ghana, which is really good for me. I think it should be equal. We're all equal. We should have equal rights. We should be able to make decisions as well. And I think honestly that can happen. It can really happen. And also tells women and goes to women and tells them that, you know what, strive hard and be what you want to be. Push hard and do what you want to do. Don't be deterred by what anybody says. You know what I mean? As much as they're talking about us and they're saying we can do that, we cannot do that, we have to prove them wrong. And I believe that we can. So. She
believes we can, but with all the obstacles, like, I mean, in the music industry, especially in the arts, we keep hearing of men seeking favors, sexual favors from women before giving them opportunities. We also hear of other women, quote and unquote, bitching so that their fellow women do not get the opportunities they have. Do you see this working? I'm still on the 50-50 agenda by 2030.
I think it can work. Now, you know, little drops of water makes a mighty ocean, okay? It's small. We don't expect that it can be done at once and all of it at the same time right now, but I believe it can be done. Listen, people, quote-unquote, bitching, people, quote-unquote, saying all they won't say, it's not going to end today. Even when it's still 50-50 agenda, it's still going to happen. So the most important thing that we see what is available to us now and see how we're going to be able to let that work for us. You know, I say to people all the time that don't look at what people are saying. Sometimes that shapens you up. You know what I mean? It really does. Because you know that, oh, somebody has made a really constructive criticism, and you know you need to go and look at it, dissect, bisect, trisect, do whatever you want to do to it. Take the positive out of it. But majority of the time, what I do with the negative things is that I just look at it, listen to them, and I said, you know what, let me just drop it on the side. Because if you pay attention to that, we're never going to reach this agenda, right? Yeah. And so now, in our own little way as women, let's do whatever we can do to make sure that we're able to achieve this. And that equal rights really depends on us. Are we going to work hard at it? Because the men are working. Are we going to sit down and expect that things are done for us? No. Let's work towards that, and it can be achievable. I believe it will. Funny enough, women are becoming one now. The togetherness is much more than before, and I could attest to that because I've been to places and I've seen what is happening amongst women. So let's go for it.
It's gonna happen, Jesus.
It will happen.
I trust it's gonna happen.
Jesus' name.
Amen to that. Okay, so we move on, moving away from the 50-50 agenda in 2030 and all of that. Still in your industry, we have this thing on men beefing. Yes. Yeah, so when there's a beef between men, everybody thinks it's super cool. When women, I don't know whether they beef, but when, I don't know what we would term that, but let's say when women also beef, then we say it's bitching or something of that sort. Oh, they don't like each other. Oh, they are not cool. But I mean, the men, it doesn't happen to them.
No, but it happens to them actually. I bet to differ. I mean, there's so many beefs going on now that are crazy, and they actually don't like each other. That's why they are beefing. And sometimes sometimes I choose to say that, you know what, maybe it's just for publicity. But mind you, this is a very competitive environment. Do you understand? You're not going to have everybody liking you. I mean, these beefs, you know, and it's funny how I say this all the time, that I'm hoping that it's positive beef. Because I think they give positive beef, and that just, and the only thing that they're doing is coming up front and having the positive beef. I don't like the idea of having very insulting words and things, you know what I mean? Because we have people, a lot of these people have people that are children looking up to them, you know, and some of us are crushing on some of them. And so when we hear that, when they're using some words, it's really, really like, it just, you know, just demoralizes you. But if you're able to do this beef properly, in a positive way, so as to empower themselves that, you know what, I'm a champion in this and I'm a champion in that and I can do better than you, then that, for me, that's fine. The most important thing is that it doesn't turn violent. That I don't agree with. In the use of vulgar language, also I don't agree with that. But women and beef, women can also beef. We also have a heart. We also have our mind. They are allowed to beef as well. So it's the same thing. If it's going to be 50-50 by 2030, then it also has to be 50-50. Women have a right to also beef, but they have to beef the right way. Right? They have to beef in a way that is not going to cause any violence or anything.
Okay, so to the women out there, you also have the right to beef. I mean, they
can beef.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
You know, I can beef for you now.
Yeah.
Like, let's start beefing. What do you think?
Okay, we can't beef because, I mean, people who beef don't laugh. They don't.
No way. Yeah.
They don't laugh.
You'll be surprised they're laughing behind you and they're beefing. Don't get it twisted, guys. I tell people all the time that don't get things twisted. You'll be surprised that these people are beefing out there, but in the back they're drinking coffee and tea together.
So she's giving us one of their industry secrets. That's what they sometimes do.
Yes, don't.
So they are beefing, and then you're all
upset with each other, and then
beefing they're having coffee.
Oh,
okay. Anyway, moving on. We are still talking women, and we are still talking encouraging women. You're in the music industry. There are women in other fields. A lot of people think, or previously, and there's people who still think that way, that my daughter is not going to become anything good if she's going to do music, or if she's going to be in the arts and all of that. And they want their children. A colleague of mine was saying today, they say, "Cause school now be a nurse, cause school now be a doctor." You still think no. I mean, do you still think, are your parents disappointed? What do they feel? And what will you tell parents who keep telling their children, or their girls especially, cause school now be a doctor, cause school now be a nurse?
And the same thing applied to me when I started doing music, because my father is he wanted me to be a lawyer. He said, I want you to be a lawyer. That's what you're supposed to go to school for, you be a lawyer. And he wasn't really happy with me doing music. But, you know, after a while, when I proved him wrong, he's the first person sitting in the front row. He wants to see all my shoes. He asks, sometimes I'm like, you know, just stay home. Don't come, you know.
Oh.
And, but, you know, I think that they don't have... They're right about that feeling. You know what I mean? Because for a long time, that is what has been tagged. Musicians have to be involved in drugs, or have to be alcoholics, or have to be involved in sex or something of that sort. And that is something that is being the thing. Honestly, if it was me speaking to a parent out there, I'll just tell them, you know what? Sometimes, right? You know, why do we go to school to be doctors? You want to make good money.
Make money?
Exactly. I could assure you that some of the richest people in the world now are musicians and artists. You know, and so let's encourage them. I mean, I'm not going to tell any child not to go to school, because I have my degree in a lot of things, you know, and I'm still sitting here, I'm still doing music because it's a passion, and that's what I like to do, and that's what feeds me. And you're going to school, that's what it does for you. It helps you to know the nitty-gritty of everything that is happening around you, the processes, the sequences, arrangement, everything just helps you to know how to even organize yourself and manage yourself. And so you cannot be cheated. And so your parents are saying going to school, go ahead, go to school. But the parents out there, sometimes they sit on their kids' talent, what is really going to bring them the money, and they push them to do something that their heart is not there, they don't have a passion for, and that doesn't end anywhere. So I think that there should be a balance. You know what I mean? You can still go to school and do something that you like to do, but it must be a really good balance. Because I'm a victim. I know exactly what that's about. Now my father realized that he's actually brought up a very disciplined child, because I'm not doing drugs. I wasn't doing anything that he thought I'd be doing, and so yeah.
All right, so music is not all about doing drugs and doing all the other things most people think, or most parents fear.
Yes.
We also think that, or most people also think that music isolates their people, because I mean, you're always on the run, you're always going somewhere. People, your family needs you, your parents need you to attend this family gathering and all of that.
And you're never there.
Yes. How are you able to manage that? how are you able to give all the excuses? That is, if you give any.
I do give a lot of excuses, but the thing is that my now they've gotten to know how busy my lifestyle is, and they understand it. So I try as much as possible that when I have a little time, I go to see my father, I go to see the family, we sit down, have a drink, eat, and we're all okay. But the good thing also, as you're growing up, is easier because definitely you must leave home and do your own thing. So it gets easier as time goes on. When you're younger, it's harder. You know, when I was about 20 starting, it was harder for my parents. But now
with Samira Baumia, the second lady, we've all seen her dressed to occasions, at least for 2 occasions after they were sworn in. Yes, and I think she's slayed.
Yes, she's a slayer.
Yeah, but people are complaining, people are talking. So they say she's not dressing like a Muslim, she's not dressing like she should. What do you think?
There's nothing that you do under the earth, under the sun, that we won't talk about. And I could bet you some Muslims are actually really also liking it. Do you understand? But most of the time, people just pick the negative part. I think that she's like a fashionista. I look up to her so much. Now, you know what? I sit at home and I'm looking at my TV and I'm like, what's she going to wear today? What's she going to wear tomorrow? She's a fashionista. She's a young woman, you know what I mean? And we can relate to her, and that's what we like about her, you know? And it's just fun to watch her, you know, do something different that nobody has done before. So, I mean, no matter what you do, people will talk about it. But just lift your head up and just move on, do what you have to do.
Keeps looking simple and classy.
And classy.
All right, finally. A message to every woman, especially the vulnerable ones, the ones we don't get to celebrate every day like you, like those who have achieved a lot and all of that, the woman in the street.
I mean, the woman on the street has achieved something, and actually they're the reason why we're here, because we have to celebrate them. And so this today is actually for them. It's for everybody, but it's for them as well. The struggle and the toil is not for anything. And so to all the women out there on the street, the market women at home, doctors, nurses, singers, actors, actresses, everybody, this is to you. Today's your day. Happy Women's Day. I love you. We appreciate you so much. Do not be deterred by what anybody says. Whatever you want to do, focus. Your passion is most important. But I tell people all the time, there's one thing having talent and having passion, and there's one thing working hard at it. God bless you all, and happy Women's Day. I love you so, so much. Our mothers.
Okay, so that was Becca's message to every woman out there. All we would say to end Pulse Blitz today is that be bold for change. When you check the hashtag on every social media platform, you would find it. Be bold for change. Be bold for a certain change near you. It starts small, and then we will get there by 2030, 50-50, yes. My name is Magdalene Teku Lanyo, and I was your host today for Pulse Blitz. We'll come your way again tomorrow. Do enjoy the rest of your day.